Okay. Hello. We are going to continue with the Last Caretaker. This is my mid-level character. So there's a level cap currently in this game of level 25. So at level 12, I'm pretty much halfway through. I did another video this morning describing the flow, the electrical setup essentially, and the water setup that I have for the Lazarus racks, which is one of the quests in the game. Essentially, I'm pulling from as many sources as I can, from the roof, from the porch, and from the ship at the moment. Obviously, the ship's meant to be disconnected so you can go away. And then I have behind each Lazarus rack a full battery and a full water tank, in addition to having some water tanks down below. This will hopefully get this all set up and ready for bringing the human seeds back to the Lazarus rack, which is going to be one of the quests. There are two things that have to happen before then, however. One is the beacon on top of the Lazarus Complex needs to be put back in working order. The other is I want to open up this room, which means a fight, which means I have all of my bits and all of my pieces, including 2 grenades, which let's just go ahead and add those to the holster. Do not accidentally pitch them anywhere. Alright, so you are at 100%. You have plenty of ammo and yeah. Here we go. Okay. So what we're looking at here is there's 3 floors that this elevator goes to. The main floor, which is where the Lazarus racks are. If you go down, you find yourself outside the water purification. And this is the food processing, which there are some over there that have been let loose, which I think will swarm you as soon as you open these doors. The rest are going to be fairly passive until you actually go over and pick a fight with them. So let's go ahead and bait them a little. All right, what we got? What we got? These are green ones. I like the skitters. The skitters creep me out. Hello. All right, there's some of them. Ooh. Here you go. Yes. Yeah, here we go. Line up. There you go. There you go. Go back off the bridge. You can read. Those silly things. These wretched creatures. Spit, acid, or something. I don't know. They don't even have to get next. Alright. Am I dangling? If I am, well, you're just gonna have to. Are there more of you? Well, hello then. Right. Okay, there's something else in that corner. Let's see if we can get. Actually, I think this might be. Get off me. This might be a chance. Oh, yeah. See, now that's pissed all of them off. Alright. You, before you recharge. There we go. Alright, now we have 2 more grenades. Let's what do we have to work with here? I think there's also something in the room off to the side. Let's go ahead. Yeah, that's not where I wanted that to land. Let's see if we can't put it in here this time. It did destroy everything, and this was already toasted, so there's no scoring. I think actually, Alright, so that just leaves you. Alright, are you not connected or are you already connected? Alright. Well, you got 44% left, so we'll just go with that. Alright. Oh, you're a robot. Sorry about that. Poor guy. Alright. All sorts of stuff to collect in here. And this will need to be repaired. Need a little bit of everything. We'll just bring the box up. If I recall correctly. There's a minor critter in here. Right, there's a major. There's, yeah, no, that's great. There's no one there. Hey, there is. Yes. Here we go. Alright, those are dead. I got a lot of food out of here. This obviously is food processing, so that's what this is. You're meant to feed it to your humans when you're making them. And that is that. About 10 minutes. That's fine. Going to need I'm going to need to bring up some repair equipment, some resources, put that back in place. They have a new device now as well that is meant for extracting the material that go ahead and move that wall in a minute. So you drop the biomatter, you drop this stuff into the new device, and it actually produces methane, which is kind of cool. And then, goodbye, robot friend. And then it spits out the material that you need to put into the food processor to make food. So it's gather bio-waste, turn bio-waste into materials, and then turn materials into food. But they give you a lot of food beforehand. They give you a lot of things beforehand. So you don't necessarily have to make the food for the first one. All right. Ascended in the vinyl evacuation waves, and there's a list of names, some of which show up in those logs that are collected. Then children of the last exodus, and then notable final departures. And they all say ascended. And these are kind of in order of birthday. Not necessarily. Interesting. I guess by ascended they mean blast off into space, but I suppose there could be another meaning for it. But they all say ascended rather than died, which is interesting. Okay, so what's going to happen is quartz. Is there going to have to come? Wait a minute. I don't know where they have to come. Oh, they can come over here to this ladder. Okay, so there is the food processor and a lot of anything else you want to put up here is probably going to need water. You don't have enough cake. So we'll need to bring this over here and then bring it back to the other side. Almost. So it's going to have to come off the side of that and then come across here to this. What I did over here is instead of using that ladder, I just dropped it down, which I may change later on. But it takes less stuff. But there's nowhere to drop over here except the ladder. That's the ladder down. This is all elevator. This square is all elevator, so it's going to have to be the ladder. The other alternative is there is a bit of a stairs and gantry-way, but I think the ladder's going to be the best option. In the meantime, let's drop off. Recharge. Let's save. I think it's upset with me. There's so much going on within the Lazarus area and on top of the roof and off the edges that Lazarus is a very computer resource intensive space. But that is that area cleared out. Let's see. I brought a bunch of stuff downstairs from up top. Turn back on. Okay, now, first thing that's going to happen is back there. All right, I have a little bit more cable, but I'm probably going to need more. Don't think that many. Don't need you anymore. Don't need you anymore. And this is my resource pile. I think there's a bunch upstairs too. But let's do this first. I would be very surprised if it takes we'll take you. I'm missing aluminum. And yes. Glass, let's take you. I already have copper, aluminum, thank you. You got any silicone for me? I don't want to have to go back into the boxes and mess things around, so we're just going to drop these here for the moment. It worries me a little bit that it's off to the side. What are you? You're gold. You might think I need to be. Silicone. There we go. There's one little plastic stuff there. Okay, let's go up. It's and while we're at it, we will leave this. Turn this off. And leave this running. Wrong button. One major disadvantage of the controller is that a lot of the buttons are mapped to the identical things. Obviously, because there's fewer buttons, so that's just the way it is. Although I see a lot of people online as well struggling a bit with the keyboard. The little contextual elements that pop up are how you can tell what it is you're about to do. There is a dearth of muscle memory. I thought I saw a battery. Guess not. But if you've got your muscle memory programmed and you expect it to do one thing, rubber and fabric. Fortunately, you will get those effects. There's a bit of lag. I think. Can you get rubber? No, you get metal and plastic. Can you get rubber? No, you just get metal. No. Rubber, no. Plastic, no. No. And point the device at it, it tells you what's in it. I don't remember. Or just plastic. Or just plastic. Or plastic and metal. I need some tires, but I think I may have used them all. Enter. Rather than messing with the elevator. These ones are really huge. They're volume. Alright. So, look at that. Go back to the box and see if I just forgot to pick it up. I have another box over on the other side that we can check, Tom. And I can always go back to the bunch. Actually, let's just go ahead and slope everything up, because I may have gotten something without realizing it. Alright. Rubber. Here we go. And what was the other one that it wanted? Fabric, which I just don't have enough of. Good. Nope, don't fall over the edge. And I used a lot of the rubber for this. That was probably my outfit. Check the corner. Yep. Okay. Okay, turned off. You don't need that much copper. And as much on as plastic is, I don't think I'm going to need. Yeah. We're still under. Alright, so this should repair the recycler, and then we will wire it for water. And it needs to begin to make a dent. Because I suspect it's going to take a lot more hose than I like. Here's no brickway. There we go. Alright, so let us okay. Okay, and you across here. Get up there. Here. And maybe across here. Just sort of tuck you in. And then I think what I'll do in the end is I will put the other device probably up there. And then that will be where the biomass element is. Alright, so that will be prepped. Yeah, kind enough to give you some elements here. I'm going to need a battery, and I'm going to need a water tank. Minimum one, maybe two. Just get a little bit of scrap in here. What was that slogan about it? Here we go. Alright, let's see how much cable I have. Coming out of here. And down. Going to need to be about here-ish. About here-ish. Alright, I have going to need, looking at those numbers, it said I had 16 meters of cable, which means means I may end up using all of that rubber. I tend to not mess with the boxes until the very end because I routinely need them to build bits and pieces. If I need to go up into a hole in the wall or something like that. Let's see. We cleared out a lot of the rubber, I think, for the water tanks over here. I'm still carrying things around. There we go. Oh, because I did not. Closed it. I think all of this needs to come back. Clear. Let's carry around food, but I'm going to need the plastic for this. We're just going to have to remove it here. And I need do that. So you are going to need to make me. Alright, I have enough. Okay. I'm kind of assuming nothing falls back there, but that always kind of worries me. Alright, I'm gonna have to move in there. There we go. Other thing that I need is this is going to build a battery which will act as a bit of a buffer in the system. I put one up on that room. Obviously, each of the Lazarus racks has their own battery. Pardon me. Each of the water purifiers downstairs has its own battery. No, it has its own water tank. I think there's just one battery down there. I may want to sort that out. Alright. Because if you're going to use solar, then obviously you have to account for nighttime. I do have some of the wind turbines out. I don't mind repairing them all that often, but if they get to the point where they're busted, they're obviously useless. So in that case, you need to have some redundancy built in there anyways. You go ahead and it's not a bad use. You go ahead and build. And made this on a boat. And brought it in. Okay. Go ahead and put me there. Wait for that to build. I'll get a water tank over here too. 60, 70, yeah. And what I will do maybe is fill it with those. Since they were kind enough to leave them here. Okay, now. And then we're going to plug in over here. And you we're going to plug in here. And we will do the same. I guess the water tank's going to have to go here so we'll get started. All right, now let's get this up and running. No. Stop that. Let me just pull this diagonally. It wants to be there. It's really hard to reach things from there. All right, let's see about... How much do I have left? I have plenty left. And let's do enter. And I really want to go far enough back in here. And I'm going to jump off and put you over here. And then this. And let's put you there. I'm going to charge myself back up. Up here. And then you want to be plugged into the grid. So, what input has to happen is you need to share a junction box. Which means you come here. It is acting like a splitter. There we go. There we go. Now, all of this is feeding up and back and forth in order to charge that battery. That's what's going on. And you can watch the pulses. This is one of the reasons that Lazarus is so intensive a space for the computer, is because it is tracking all of this. It's also why in a lean run, you might only want to have one rack going at a time. I've decided I want to play with 4. Alright, jump in order to get off of those, and it will automatically jump out. Yeah. Ooh, I'm going to come back over here as well. Huh, there is a little bit of space there. I wonder. It would have to be on this side. Alright, let's stick with the plan, but let's remember that that is an option. There's the teasiest amount of space there. And that would give you a straight shot. Okay, intercept. Down to the next level. That will give you a straight shot out instead of the diagonal one that I did. Alright. Jump. Shit. Get back on the left. Get on the left. Get. Alright, back. Alright. Or it is auto backup keeping me. You're 21 minutes ago. You were just a few seconds ago. Let's see what you've got. I don't want to lose 21 minutes. Okay. Alright, I was approaching this. This has been turned on. Alright, let's not screw this up this time. That was very, very lucky. Right. Hint yourself. I think what happened is I was too close to the floor and it needed me backwards. There we go. These ladders are part of the problem. That's all I'm saying. And now, I'm not saying that in the sense that I think they should quote fix them. I'm saying it in the sense that it may be necessary to learn precisely how they function before you end up falling off them too often. Get you over to the wall. Just a minor crisscrossing. And then in here is going to have to be the same thing with a junction box. And then out. And you going there. And you going there. Now, let's see. And those are really close to each other. Here's a way to go. Alright, so let's see if we can make a water tank upstairs. And then get to work filling it. And then that will be that piece prepped. And can we make water tank? Yes. I have all parts to keep. Right, what have I got? I'm still carrying around. You need to be recycled. All right, so if we come back up here and connect ourselves with water tank, it should start equalizing through the system, and I have a bunch of water tanks in the system, so I should be able to equalize pretty quickly. All right, so you we have to if I put it over there, it's going to cross there. So let's put it over here. Here's a little bit of crossing, but it's such as life. All right, and the ports on the front. Okay. Okay, so if we do that, first thing we'll do, we're going to dig you out. You downstairs. Now, if I plug you in, I should see water flowing. Yes. That is at the moment pulling from all of the other water tanks in the system. So what I'm going to do is go back down and to the water purification level. So that was Lazarus. Rack, this is water purification. And it is not contributing anything at the moment because it is not turning on. Although I have to wonder, I would have thought those two would be flushing through as well. There we go. Now, yes, you are going out. So this should eventually equalize at 2000, and then I will come back and I will turn things off again. See, this is that gap. There's another one there. The problem on this side is the gap is here, but you have to loop it around the switch. We wanted to do power on one side and and water on the other. See, that would be a straight shot through the bridge. All right, so this is just about full. This is just about full. And when we turn you on, I don't have the patterns to craft items. That is because I have not spent the skill points on items yet. That gives us those. That gives us stones. That gives us stones. I don't have any of the higher quality ones. They go up pretty high. But I'm already halfway through. Only halfway through. So this is the soil forge. This is the other item that I would need to build. plenty of skills. And I guess the best place for it would be over on this side, maybe up here. But we're not going to build that yet. All right. These are the items. It says it wants fat, protein, carbohydrate. So use the soil forage to make the fat, protein, and carbohydrate, and then you use the food processor to make food, which is those canisters. Yeah. 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. So we are going to, if we don't want to go all in on making the food, we are going to have to make the soil forage and then bring in the ingredients up for it. And then closer. Behave yourself. All right, so let's see what the soil forage requires. And then I'm going to need one more box. And I believe one to leave up there that's going to have all of the objects in it. So let's go ahead and do that. Need battle brush Q, build in my food bucket. Now, the soil forage. Does not want to build. Probably because I can't make things like the radiator. It looks like I need aluminum. Alright, let's I'm going to find aluminum. Aluminum is found in tech scraps. And so it is a bit of a rare beastie. These are the finished food that we've picked up from a variety of different areas. So, I suspect I'm going to need to go back to the boat. I think I have a bunch of this back on the boat anyways. Let's do 50 of everything. Well, we'll just go ahead and drop everything in here because there's a bunch of that back on the boat too. All right, so I need aluminum and all of my biomaterials. This is going to bug me. Oh, I put away my glow sticks. Okay. We'll save on them. And there are reasons for maybe taking the water out as well. At a certain point, you get plants and you need to water them, obviously. So I suspect that's what those other water plugs are for. All right, step 1. I've been sitting here for a while, you are full. See, so what happens with the wind turbines, particularly the little ones, they just utterly crap out on me. I have enough at the moment to maintain them, and I prefer having backup when I'm off at park at night. I also think they may. I really want to grab a cable. Oh, maybe because I pulled from the auto backup. Alright, let's back up slot 2. There we go. And now it's back. All right. And you're full. And just top up. Okay. So you should be ready to collect. There you go. I leave my net down all the time. All the time. Because I prefer being able to just pull everything at any point. Okay, let's put half of you back. I don't need that much. Alright, now, can I make a soil forge down here? I think I can. Let's say add all parts to queue. Kind of. The soil forge produces methane, which you need eventually, but I don't think that I have a methane collector. I think that tank comes a lot later. Yes, that's not for 3 or 4 more moments now, so we may just set this up and then leave the in the meanwhile. Fast. And that's no, they're my specials. Do that thing again where I swear I have things. You're glad. You have not become. We need to be a sort of lavendery. And you are a light blue. Actually, I think you're lavendery. There weren't quite enough blues, I think, so I ended up making some of these. Yeah. That you're not going to be able to tell those apart. Alright, you're just gonna have to be. Aluminum is white. You're gonna have to be dark purple. So you're glass, you are. Oh, you're aluminum, so why am I becoming. Oh, silicone is white. Well, you're silicone. Alright, not the point. Okay, and so that was the soil forge. And I think I'm actually going to want another battery. And another water tank next to it. And if it doesn't want water, then we're going to have to readjust. Okay. And you are the memory box. Oh! We're eventually going to need to go as well. And parts for different things. There's Where's my food box? You are my food box. No. Do I not have any food on the boat? There's a food box. Why would I not have any food on the boat? I know. Could I bring it in at some point? Oh, there. I can label things properly. You are memory and food. Therefore. Okay, so you are bucket. Let's leave behind 50 grams of each and take the rest because actually, no, we're going to need at least one of you. You collect this in a lot of different places. Oh, and now I'm happy. Every time you kill an enemy, you collect this. I have not set up probably should have put this in a box. This is going to take a minute. I've not set up a diesel generator on the boat. I just kind of don't use diesel. I know a lot of people dislike that because it slows them down. I don't mind so much. See, that I did not kill on the way out. That's its bonus. And if you want to walk to the food processor space, you have to go right past that. And it will. I died to it once. It was not fun. That's why I'm not messing with it at the moment. So that is another thing that I have to do before I move. This will give us all of the pieces that we need to get started. Looks like I can also, well, no, because I'm going to need to fill this water tank. So I'm going to leave them on for the moment. But before I leave Lazarus, I'll want to go by and turn everything off. Not that I think it's necessarily an issue in the game, but there's, like I said, there's a lot here. One downside of leaving all of the stuff lying around and not processing it right away is that it's a lot more for the, don't do that. It's a lot more for the computer to handle, like I said, even having all of the loose materials lying about. All right, if I recall this silly thing correctly, it spits out over there. So what I'm going to do, while that is building, go ahead and dismantle a bunch of stuff. I'm hopeful that once I'm done here, I can just, well, I'm going to need one more box. I will probably need a food box and a finished food box. I will need a parts box. That is going to... Yeah. All right, you are the methane extractor. No, you're the switch. That's a little backwards, but you are, let's drop the food over here and bring the box back. And you drop in Drop you, gonna drop you. We are. Okay, this will build. Tuck him right about there. Tuck you right about here. Yep. You have to reach past you in order to get to reach past in order to get to the light switch. But what you're gonna do? I would have to rearrange that in order to get it sorted. So we're just gonna have to cross our streams and hope that nothing happens too bad. I mean, part of what happens, I think, when you come back and things are all fussy is that some of this more complicated wiring gets snarled. Just clear out over here. There's a bug under the couch. That probably doesn't make anyone happy. Alright, now. Interesting. I thought this popped out methane, but I'm not seeing an external port. Maybe you have to have the bigger one? Oh well, I guess that simplifies the cords. Alright, so interact, deposit all objects, and it just chomps them out. It just throws them overboard. If you put this on your boat. Somebody's got a sense of humor. Okay. In the meantime, everything is flowing appropriately. You are outputting about 100. Yeah. You're outputting 22 liters per hour. So run that for about 10 hours before you have to do anything with it. All right, so let's go get 2 boxes. I'm so busy talking that I forgot I had to stop the elevator. And I think that will be that set up. Like I said, the next thing I need to do is I need to go up and sort out. All right, you are my box of stuff. Okay. Parts for 1 more box. Metal parts. I may need more boxes up there, but this will do for now. And I'll just process everything while I'm here and then shut it down. I may leave the food processor going while I am clearing out the last of the pieces. outside of the big boxes as you cannot see where you're going. Apparently, it will be short. Now, when I came down from the roof, it left the box. See, that is not cool. Oh, shit. Now, here's my box. Ah, crap. Oh, no, it's stuck. It's stuck on the box. The box is clogged to the wall. Oh, shoot. I can't get over there. Okay. Let's go up. The box is clogged to the wall. We'll have to do this again. It's not close at all, it's just there. Okay, take everything out of it. No, I'm going to dismantle it. That is something I'm going to have to put onto the Discord because I'm off my battery. Hold on a second. That's the second time that's happened. It happened when I was coming down from the roof. I can compensate for it for the moment, but it is going to be annoying. Now, we are going to want apology. I keep laughing things with my non-interest with my crowbar. Okay. I'm gonna want the food materials close enough to the fabricator. I'm waiting for one alloy frame. Can I build an alloy frame? Maybe I chalked out. Okay. Drop, 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 drop. Come back for food. Okay, so this kind of amuses me, but it's probably not a good idea to leave them there. By the hundreds. Oh, I'm overweight. Alright. Drop, 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 drop. Drop. Now, if I were to make food, what kind of food could I make? I could make all sorts of food. Okay. You've been turned off. You have water, you have power. Alright, I suspect that either I left it behind or the item, making sure if they're crossing, they cross each other and nothing else. And moving a little slower. Alright, this will be the last thing we try to do. Because I think you get the idea. We want the materials up there. I need to do not have what I need for now for you. I don't have any plastic. I don't have any plastic. Well, said everybody all the time, honestly. It's plastic is, given the situation of a flooded earth, plastic is hands down the thing that you go searching for the most. And the more specialized materials, you either know whether you have them or you're not. But with plastic, you're like, obviously I have plastic. Have you met me? And then you go to make something and it says you don't have any plastic. Ah, crap. That bug was the elevators. Maybe that's the one. Okay, you're over there. Go ahead and move you up. Knock all of you in. Okay. Fancy stuff. That's filling up pretty quickly, though. How long does this go on? Vitamin D, carbohydrate. Did I just get whacked in the head with some carbohydrates? I think I did. Alright. There are a lot of things in there, but it still has room. Can you see the thing? I think you can. Alright, so physique fuel, neutral core, high fat, mind surge. What do we actually have? We have mind surge or neutral core. Okay, so we have a little bit of everything. 4, 6, 4, and 4. So let's just do 2 of everything and see how long that takes. And how much it takes. Or we could just do 5 of everything. Ah, that's gonna want. Okay. To refill the dispenser. I don't know. Did I see any fat go by? Not see any fat. I think we may be running low on things. Okay, well, we did those 2 and we'll be able to see what is what once we're done. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish clearing out up in here all of the plastic and chairs, tables and chairs and racks, etc. And then I will go ahead and wait for that to finish. And then the next time I come in to record, I will probably be lining the. What are you? You're just like a random outlet floating in the air? Huh. Oh, that's the projector. That's the projector that's projecting onto the wall. Huh. I never would have guessed. Alrighty then. Ooh, are you done? You're done. Alrighty. I've reached level 13 because I've looted goop. Go ahead and turn you off if you're finished. And we do have some fat, but it's going fast. Carbohydrates, we have plenty of protein, omega-3. And I think that goes into the fancy stuff. All right, so this is logging out that. You're nice and full. Yeah. So essentially I have 2 batteries and 2 things up here if anything were to shut down, which would be fine. And I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. So yeah, the food processing area, I've seen people put food processors on their boats, or down on the Lazarus, where the Lazarus racks are. I think that complicates things, and it's too much stuff on that level that then needs to be accounted for. So I would prefer to just, if this is the dedicated food space, I'm going to put my food space up here, and we're just going to leave it there. And the only downside is it'll mean carrying food down back and forth to the Lazarus back. So what I may eventually do is have staging boxes where I can just drop things, taken down and things. For example, the memory pots, the memories box is going to have to go down here to be closer to there. So 2 boxes, for example, would not clutter up that too much, and I would be okay with that. And the rest of the stuff can live up here. And I will just create a backlog as I make it, and we'll see what it takes. And I'll leave it there. See you later. In the meantime, thanks for watching.